The quiet waters of Crawford Pond rippled gently under the summer sun, the same way they did on July 2nd when Sunshine Stewart pushed her paddleboard into the water for what would become her final journey. This tranquil setting in rural Union, Maine, where families have summered for generations, became the unlikely scene of a crime so shocking it would leave this tight-knit community forever changed. 48-year-old Sunny Stewart was known throughout St. George as the adventurous spirit who could build a house, captain a boat, and throw the best parties. Her friends describe her as fiercely independent yet deeply loyal, the kind of person who would drop everything to help someone in need. That vibrant life was cut short when the accomplished paddleboarder vanished on these deceptively peaceful waters, her body discovered days later under circumstances that pointed unmistakably to murder. The arrest of 17-year-old Devin Young sent further shockwaves through the community. What could have driven this teenager to allegedly commit such violence against a woman known for her generosity and zest for life? As investigators piece together the timeline of that tragic day, troubling questions emerge about what really happened on Crawford Pond. Born and raised in coastal Maine, Sunshine Stewart embodied the rugged independence of her home state. Friends recall a woman who fearlessly pursued whatever caught her interest, whether it was commercial fishing in the brutal North Atlantic, bartending at local pubs, or teaching paddleboarding lessons along Maine's rocky coast. Her sister remembers Sunny as the sibling who always pushed boundaries, while still maintaining deep family bonds. Sunny's childhood was filled with adventure. Growing up in a family that valued hard work and resilience, she learned early on the importance of self-sufficiency. Her father, a fisherman, often took her out on the boat, instilling in her a love for the sea and a respect for nature. Those days on the water shaped who she became, her sister recalls. Sunny was never afraid to get her hands dirty or to take risks. Those who knew Sunny best paint a picture of a Renaissance woman equally comfortable swinging a hammer on construction sites as she was mixing cocktails behind the bar. Former co-worker Mark Ellis recounts how Sunny single-handedly renovated her home in Tennant's Harbor, saying, "She had this incredible determination. Once Sunny set her mind to something, it got done, no matter what." This determination served her well during her years living in the Virgin Islands, where she worked as a boat captain. Longtime friend Bruce Twine remembers how Sunny thrived in the islands. She had this incredible ability to adapt to any situation. One day she'd be navigating through rough seas, the next rebuilding a deck after a storm. Nothing intimidated her. Back in Maine, Sunny became a fixture in the local water sports community. Bethany Leach Parmley, a childhood friend, recalls, "She didn't just paddleboard, she lived for being on the water. There wasn't a sunrise she wouldn't wake up early to catch from her board." This passion would ultimately draw her to Crawford Pond on that fateful July day. Sunny's adventurous spirit extended beyond the water. She was known for organizing community events, from beach cleanups to local art fairs. Her friends often joked that she was the glue that held their group together. Sunny had this magnetic personality, says Bruce. People were naturally drawn to her. She made everyone feel special. July 2nd began like any other summer day in Union, Maine. Temperatures hovered in the mid-70s as vacationers and locals made their way to Crawford Pond's secluded shores. At 600 acres with no public access points, the pond offered quiet respite from more crowded coastal areas. Sunny arrived in the early afternoon, as confirmed by witnesses who saw her unloading her board near the campground access point. Familiar with the pond's layout from previous visits, Sunny likely paddled toward 100-acre island at the center, a favorite spot reachable only by small watercraft. What happened next remains shrouded in mystery, but investigators believe she encountered her attacker in one of the pond's many secluded coves. Campground manager Sarah Wilkins recalls an unusual tension that afternoon.
There was this group of teens being rowdy near the West Bank, not typical for our regular visitors.
Other witnesses reported hearing shouts from that direction around 3 p.m., though no one thought much of it at the time. When Sunny failed to return by nightfall, friends initially assumed she'd simply extended her outing. But by morning, when her abandoned board washed ashore near the campground, concern turned to panic. The sheriff's department launched a search. But hopes dimmed when divers recovered her body 3 days later in 12 feet of water near one of the pond's narrow passages. The medical examiner's ruling of homicide sent ripples of fear through Union's 2,400 residents. Suddenly, this picturesque pond where generations of families had safely summered became a crime scene.
You think something like this couldn't happen here?
Local resident Jim Peterson said.
This is where we teach our kids to swim.
Investigators focused on witness accounts placing 17-year-old Devin Young near the pond that afternoon. The Frankfurt teen had no known connection to Sunny, deepening the mystery. Police remained tight-lipped about evidence, but sources close to the investigation revealed the suspect's clothes tested positive for gunshot residue, puzzling since Sunny died from blunt force trauma. The legal proceedings added more layers to the enigma. At his arraignment, Young appeared composed, but offered no explanation for his alleged actions. His court-appointed attorney Jeremy Pratt's sparse comments left more questions than answers. Prosecutor Angela Warren's statement hinted at more disturbing details.
This wasn't random violence.
The evidence shows clear premeditation.
Meanwhile, Sunny's friends struggled to reconcile her vibrant life with such a violent end.
A memorial paddle-out drew hundreds to honor the woman who'd taught so many to love the water. As candles floated across Crawford Pond at twilight, the community grappled with how such darkness could invade their peaceful corner of Maine. The news of Sunny's death spread quickly, leaving a trail of disbelief and sorrow. Friends and family gathered to share stories, each one a testament to her spirit and the impact she had on their lives.
She was the kind of person who made you feel like you could do anything,
said longtime friend Lisa Thompson.
Her laughter was infectious,
and her energy was unmatched.
As the investigation unfolded, the community came together to support Sunny's family.
A GoFundMe page was established to help cover funeral expenses and to create a memorial in her honor. The outpouring of love and support was overwhelming, with donations pouring in from across the state.
Sunny touched so many lives,
said her sister.
We want to celebrate her life and keep her memory alive.
The local newspaper featured articles about Sunny's life, highlighting her contributions to the community and the void her absence left. Friends organized a candlelight vigil at the pond, where they shared stories, sang songs, or released lanterns into the night sky.
We wanted to honor her in a way that felt true to who she was,
said Bethany.
Sunny loved the water,
where we knew she would have wanted us to be there.
As the days turned into weeks, the investigation continued,
where the community's grief remained palpable. Parents began to worry about their children's safety, and some even avoided the pond altogether.
It's hard to shake the feeling that something terrible happened in a place we thought was safe,
said local resident Karen Mitchell.
We used to come here every summer,
and now it feels different.
Months after the arrest, critical gaps remain in the narrative.
Investigators won't confirm whether Sunny and Young knew each other. Those sources suggest possible prior contact through the local water sports community. The murder weapon hasn't been identified, and no motive has been disclosed. Legal experts note the unusual aspects of trying a juvenile as an adult for murder in Maine. Defense strategist Linda Carver explains,
unless the prosecution can prove exceptional brutality or prior violent history, the defense will likely push for juvenile court.
This raises the possibility Young could be released by age 21 if convicted. Back in Union, the pond remains eerily quiet. Some residents avoid it altogether, while others visit cautiously. While if paying respects, Sunny's renovated home stands empty, a project left painfully unfinished. Friends maintain a makeshift memorial at the campground beach, where flowers and notes continue to appear. As the case inches toward trial, one question haunts everyone touched by this tragedy. Why would a teenager allegedly destroy such a radiant life? Until that answer comes, the waters of Crawford Pond will carry both the memory of Sunshine Stewart and the shadow of what happened there on a summer day that began in sunshine and ended in sorrow. As the trial date approaches, the community braces itself for the emotional turmoil that will inevitably unfold in the courtroom. The media frenzy surrounding the case has drawn national attention, with news outlets eager to cover every detail. The courtroom becomes a battleground, not just for justice for Sunny, but for the very soul of a community grappling with fear and uncertainty. Prosecutors prepare their case, meticulously piecing together evidence and witness testimonies. They aim to paint a picture of a premeditated act, one that shattered the lives of many. Meanwhile, the defense team works tirelessly to build a narrative that could lead to a more lenient sentence for Young. They argue that he is a product of his environment, a troubled youth who made a grave mistake. As the trial unfolds, the emotional weight of the proceedings becomes palpable. Friends and family of Sunny fill the courtroom, their hearts heavy with grief and anger. Each testimony brings back memories of the vibrant woman they lost, and the pain of her absence is felt deeply.
It's hard to sit there and listen to the details,
says Bethany.
Every word feels like a reminder of what we lost.
The prosecution presents evidence that suggests a troubling pattern of behavior from Young. Witnesses recount seeing him near the pond on multiple occasions leading up to the incident, raising questions about his intentions. The defense counters with claims of mental health issues, arguing that Young's actions were not premeditated, but rather a result of impulsive behavior. As the trial progresses, the community watches closely, hoping for answers and justice. The emotional toll is evident, with many residents attending the proceedings to show their support for Sunny's family.
We want to be there for them,
says Karen.
Sunny was one of us,
and we need to stand together during this difficult time.
After weeks of testimony, the jury finally deliberates.
The tension in the courtroom is palpable as everyone waits for the verdict. When the jury returns, the atmosphere is thick with anticipation. The judge reads the verdict, guilty of second-degree murder. A collective gasp fills the room, followed by tears of relief and sorrow. While the verdict brings a sense of closure, it does not erase the pain of losing Sunny. Her friends and family gather to reflect on her life and the impact she had on those around her.
We fought for justice,
and we got it,
says Bethany.
But it doesn't bring Sunny back. We have to find a way to move forward without her.
In the months that follow, the community begins to heal.
Memorials continue to be held in Sunny's honor, and her friends work to establish a scholarship fund in her name to support local youth interested in outdoor activities.
We want to keep her spirit alive,
says Bruce.
Sunny would have loved to see kids out on the water, learning and having fun.
As the seasons change, the waters of Crawford Pond remain a reminder of both the beauty and fragility of life. The community learns to navigate their grief while celebrating the legacy of a woman who brought so much joy to their lives.
Sunny taught us to embrace every moment,
says Lisa.
And that's what we plan to do.
Sunshine Stewart's story resonates because it represents our deepest fears that violence can find us even in the safest places, that a single encounter can irrevocably alter lives. Yet her friends choose to remember not how she died, but how she lived with unrelenting passion and joy. As Bethany Parmley puts it,
Sunny would want us back on the water, living fully, refusing to let darkness win.
perhaps that's her final gift to the community. She loved the courage to keep moving forward, even through the wake of unspeakable loss. The trial of Devon Young promises answers, but no verdict can restore what was taken. What remains is Sunshine's legacy of adventure, of friendship, of embracing life's beauty despite its unpredictability. And in that legacy, some small measure of light persists, undimmed by tragedy, just like the unquenchable spirit her name embodied. As the sun sets over Crawford Pond, casting a golden hue across the water, the community gathers once more to honor Sunny. They paddle out into the pond, each person carrying a flower to toss into the water. As the flowers drift away, they symbolize not just loss, but hope that Sunny's spirit will continue to inspire others to live boldly, love fiercely, but cherish every moment. In the end, the story of Sunshine Stewart is not just a tale of tragedy. It is a celebration of life, resilience, and the enduring bonds of friendship. It serves as a reminder that even in the darkest of times, the light of love and community can guide us through, illuminating the path forward.